This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty, hosted by Earl the Pearl. On Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Talking Heads with Naughty is brought to you by the Bahamas Out Island Promotion Board, Burger King, City of Hope, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, Kelly's Home Center, KFC, Muffler World, Nassau Cruise Port, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's Sound Games, and Castle Bahamas, Tropical Gyros, and the Water and Sewage Corporation.
I tapped you in the eye, punched them in the belly, stepped on the feet, slammed the towel on the hard concrete. Now family, I'll be damn slim, just don't weep. Couldn't beat the smoke week, that makes us
Good afternoon, good day. It's a Talking Heads Thursday here on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. This your boy Burley in the house. I was just trying to catch that song. Producer is killing himself laughing at me. I hope everybody's good. I hope everybody's great. We're going to have a good day today. It's an open line. I want to hear what you got to say, but anything you want to talk about today, but this is how you have to do it.
Here's how you can become a talking head, brought to you by BTC.
Pick up your phone and you dial 323-6232. That's 323-6232 or 325-4316, 325-4316 or 325-4259, 325-4259 or go toll free 242-300-5720, 242-300-5720. And if you don't feel like hearing your voice, you just want text. That's no problem. It's powered by BTC. 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. 422-4796. I'm going to hear from you. Let's talk. Anything you want to talk about, we can talk about today. But we got to see what's going on in the headlines first.
It's time for Headliners. Everything that's making headlines in the 242. Brought to you by the Fine Threads.
$86 million price tag for bridge. Minister explains high cost for glass window bridge. You see that TikTok thing fellas be saying? That thing nobody's be saying when he cough? Okay. Man shot dead, another injured on Harbor Island. That's my favorite home away from home. Minister, I am running in next election. Topic for conversation. Moss warns of growing number of homeless. And in the business section, let's see what's going on here in the business section. Sands, Bahamas new project still on target for early 2026 groundbreaking. Regulatory approvals are still being sought for the new development. New hotel is expected to feature 350 rooms and 50 luxury branded residences. Save Exuma Alliance criticizes dismiss Integra Group poll. BCA president questions $86.35 million estimate for rehabilitation of glass window bridge. Early questioning that too. Silver Airways ceases operations amid bankruptcy. And the SCB trains police to aid them in prosecution of financial crimes. Good stuff. So how everybody doing? It is getting hot. Summer is here. We're only about a month away from independence. Our 52nd. Things are great. Are they? Or are we being sold a dream? That's what I'm interested in knowing. I look at this $86 million price tag for a bridge. And I wonder. It was 20, then it was, I think, 40 or 60, now 86. And you're explaining all the inflation. Okay, let's live with inflation. Okay, fine. And we know that. We know price of things going up. But you listen to some price, 18 million. Let's look at this. I won't be sure. So he says, for example, to build a bridge, you really cannot put the weight of the machines on the existing structure. Therefore, another temporary landing site will have to be built to facilitate the building. He says, with the construction of the main glass window bridge is $25.4 million. 25, get it now, $25.4 million. So that's $61 million for other things. What else? What else we spending $60 million on? Something for two. Let me see. I missed something there. It says, I want to be fair to him now. The North Approach Bridge. Budget as $2 million. Preliminary cost for insurance and harbor fees, $1.2 million. Shipping costs, $18 million. So if you're telling me the construction of the bridge is $25 million and costs another $18 million for the shipping, so that's really, let's do the math there. I'm doing 35, 43 million. Then you get another $6 million for the temporary works, including landing dock. And piling roads, another 8. Come on, man. The Bahamas Construction Association questioning that as well. They contractors. They build things. We want the bridge fixed. We've been talking about this for 100 years. From Hurricane Andrew in 92, I remember the talks about that and all the hurricanes that hit, all them stuff, we talk about fixing the bridge. $86 million? Help me, please. Help me understand $86 million. I brag I went to SAC, but I know that ain't had the math in there. Text, Pearly, do you know where I can find an onion that will make my eyes run water when cutting it? Just reading this. There's an onion making your eyes run water when you're cutting it. Some people, I saw a post on Facebook. Yeah, he's trolling. Yeah. And they were talking about what the Reverend C.B. Moore says. But before people try to figure out what's going on, we want to knock the Reverend. We want to knock the pastors. Oh, these pastors talking but they collecting all this money and they doing all of this. Okay. All right. So are you. So am I. What are we doing to help alleviate these problems? We expect, y'all should do this. Y'all should do that. Y'all should do this. All them pastors getting all that money. Yes. But I know that they do. I know that many priests, pastors, churches feed people every single day. You drive on Blue Hill Road and you see them every day. The people line up getting them hot meal every day. You go by St. Anselm Station, Foxhill in the mornings, you see kids getting breakfast. And many other places are having feeding programs. What are we doing so these lines can get shorter? And shorter till they don't exist anymore. Reverend Moss is bringing something to the table that we don't know we talk about. People are homeless. I see people sleeping on the side of the road all the time and it hurts my heart. I was talking to somebody the other day and I said, boy, if I win the lotto, you know what I want to do? I want to do a halfway house for people who can come and have a place to sleep at night, take a hot shower and get a hot meal. But I ain't dumping all my money into that. I would do that today. If you see me go win the $100 million lotto, I would do that. Because I don't believe that people should be hungry. Not in this Bahamas. We get too much food here. Some of us eating large and in charge and eating too well to say that we have people that are hungry. On the most corners, on a lot of corners, people begging. And suddenly we look at them and say, that Jones only wants, and that Jones only wants this, but then you really look at it, they're hungry. And yes, some of them are come by drugs. Yes, a lot of them are succumbed to drugs. A lot of them have made bad decisions when it comes to that. But people are still hungry. And it hurts to see that, man. And what we can do about that? Text says, good day, Pearly. Let's be real. You think a lead menace would carry a win for the F&M? Come on, nobody in the Bahamas don't want him. Only the PLP want him so they can have easy win. And his team, not just him, and his. Good day, Pearly. The Welcome Center is $3.5 million. What? How big is that $3.5 million? That's a Royal Center, Elutra? I didn't even get to that. How big a Welcome Center you building? It ain't like you gonna have 200-300 people in that Welcome Center at one time. But caller, you on the air. Let me who's that? Call her. Pearlie, why you think there were so many people in the march with the PLP? They were there for free food. They were hungry. Probably so. They credit where credit due. See, when you start judging the march by who should win the election, you got to be crazy. But the PLP did a very good job of galvanizing its base, getting its people out there. They had the little $1,000 prize for the constituency to bring the most people. You know, they had food, free food, drinks and stuff on the parade, music playing. Yeah, man, free shirts, going out handing them out. I don't know how true it is. I can't say it is true, but I hear they had little something in the shirt for you too. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. That's only what I hear. It could be alleged. It could be a rumor. It could be a lie. I don't know, but I heard that. But the point is, people, they came out. They came out, and they came out. They were enticed to come out. They were giving an incentive to come out. So, yes, they had thousands out there. And it looked good. It was impressive. It was impressive. The F&M had a crowd, but they just said, come out if you want to come out in your national colors, and they came out. Yes, the PLP had more. But I don't think it was a race for who had the most on that parade. That was but Labour. So why are we making that? Why are we even making that a topic? That's not a topic. That was Labor Day parade that was hijacked. It was not a competition. So when you say, oh, the PLP win that, no. You win nothing. All you were able to do is get a lot of people on the Labor Day parade. Have one zone meeting and don't bring no bus load and don't entice them to come and see how much is coming out. Just have one and that's how you test this crowd like that. But his optics is still everything, I understand. Optics is everything. Caller, you're in there. How you doing?
Pearlie. How you doing, my friend?
I am good, my brother. What's up?
Well, you know, I think we need to just look after ourselves because for far too long we've been depending on, I don't know why we do it, on politicians to look after us. When you really look at it, Pearlie, this is standard all around the world. There's 1% of just about I say our population, mostly in the West.
Maybe a little more than 1%, but 3-4%. A little more.
3-4%. Okay,
yeah.
let's go for 4%.
All right.
But that group of people, Pearlie, the law that applies to me does not apply to them.
Which is sad.
Which is true, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's no government that you could elect that's going to reverse that because these people, some of them are sitting on generational wealth, all right? Wealth that you can't even fathom, that probably some of them don't even know how much money that they really sitting on.
Yeah.
So when these politicians come around, it's sad to see that these are the kinds of discussions they're never going to have with you because they don't want you to realize that there's really very little they could do for you outside of just robbing Peter to pay Paul, shifting whatever little money that they could get from whomever can give them some money and increase our debt and just pay off as they go. And I think this is just a train that we seem to be caught up in. We have to be able to now look out for ourselves because the bottom line is who can take it. Right now, right across the street from me, I've noticed in the bush, 2 people are living. I told the police. The police ain't doing nothing about it. Right down the road from me, there's a building that has about 6, and it's right across from the police station, Pearlie.
Wow.
All right? People are living in there who, okay, so...
But if you lock them up, what you can do? You take them to court, they get... What you can do, put them in prison?
See, what you do is you don't go to Haiti and bring them here. On Bahamas here because they save up enough money to get here. Or go to wherever you go and bring them here because these people, I go walking every morning and I see the new faces. I feel for them, I don't want you to feel as though I hate this situation.
So you're saying these visitors, not locals?
Right.
Okay.
These are new faces, I'm saying, living in the bush right across from me.
And they ain't catching grab?
They got one little lantern. Pearlie, and there's other people's property.
Have you called immigration? You said the police should call immigration?
Well, I thought that they would do that once because I wanted to go and them because 4:00 in the morning, this man was sitting outside under the tree with his head down, like he's really not doing well.
Oh, Lord.
And when I try to talk to him, he can't talk to me because I don't understand.
And he don't understand you.
Yeah. So I think C.B. Moss mentioned something, and I'm so glad that he's back.
Yeah, it's a good friend.
Yeah, it's like this saw has come to a boil, and the boil is about to burst in all of our faces, and we play in politics. The biggest problem is we play in politics, man.
Because the brother, them only interested in winning the next election.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them to take advantage of. You see, we have defined, I think, insanity as doing something and expecting a different result, right?
Uh-huh.
But there's also a definition for stupidity. You allow people to do something to you, and it's affecting you, and you know it, and you ain't doing nothing about it. You're just riding the train. And when someone call you a crab, all the crabs crawling, man, that's a demeaning, mean slogan to be called a crab, man. Come on, man. Why can't we just figure out, because this is a wealthy country we living in, you know.
I just said that we should not have people starving in our country. Too much food here. I ain't even going to bell. Too much food here.
Well, there's a lot of food in America that they could actually send to countries, and now they cut that back, and they still have people starving on the streets in America.
Well, you know, I watched the Senate hearing the other day, the USAID closed down, and they had tons of food rotten in warehouses because President Trump shut that down.
And people in America need the food to eat. Homeless people need the food to eat, and they're not giving it to them.
Yes. But
So
their thing is, their law is so funny. You give a homeless fellow a sandwich, and he gets sick off it, he can sue you, and the next thing he rich.
That's another matter again.
Yeah.
That's a catch-20. So how do we fix this, man?
That's a very good question. But the bottom line is, we need to put some programs in place to help these people get how the best to put it, to educate them on life. Too many times we have people who fall through the cracks, and we didn't pay attention. They didn't go to school. Then you bring a truant officer. You bring the truant officer. Come. The parents carry. Don't leave my child and all that stuff. And I have some people I know that I grew up with, that are not too far from me, didn't go to school. Then the mother did not make. If they didn't feel like going to school, the mother did not make them go to school. So what's the problem? They suffering today because some of them could hardly read or write, can't get a job, can't keep a job.
Yeah, they don't have the mind for it.
You know, and I used to get mad at my parents when my own mind used to get on me about being in school and not going out and hanging. And the fellas used to tease me when I was, oh, you couldn't come behind them bougainvillea tree. But I'm glad that happened back then.
Boy, you're so good. I'm drinking bougainvillea tea. Most people don't know the medicinal value in that.
They don't. But
they want chicken and fries.
I know, but I'm glad my parents were strict on me then, because I could have fallen down a crack that I would have never gotten out of. Well, so when I did the same thing with my kids and got strict on them, I'm happy I got a doctor, banking, and accountant. God has blessed me.
Yeah. But, I feel sad that I wasn't there for my boys, but right now I wish both of them were my fathers.
Amen. I understand.
They were influenced by, they took the advantage of the influence that they came across that I didn't give them, because, when the wife mad at you, you mad at everybody.
Yeah. And that's another thing too, that too many fellas have relationships with these young girls, with these girls, I'm not young, old, young, whatever, have a relationship, they have a kid, and because she decided y'all can break up, and you ain't getting that sweetness no more, you mad, and you start letting the kids suffer because of you and her.
Well, I was gonna burn the house down with them in it.
But you can't do that, because when you was enjoying it and catching all the sweetness, you were fine. Now you're in a breakup. Why the kids gotta suffer for what you and that woman or you and that man can't get along anymore for?
So this is what's going on in our society, simply because, Pearly, I've been through it. I saw the tunnel. I've been in the tunnel, my friend. I took out my rifle in the corner there, and just to shut this woman up, because we need some money, I was gonna rob that store right on the corner. But I think my mom grew me up a little bit differently. So I think a lot of people are going through training inside these temptations that they just succumb to, Pearly.
I know. We had a program, when I worked at OPM, there was a program, the Overhill Community Development Partnership that the former administration did. But we had some classes that we did in the Westie School doing project management. And we got kids from the inner city and had them teach them the basics on how to manage a construction project. And the deal was, if the top 2 or 3 who did well, we put them on to BTVI to get proper training, proper certification. And I don't know what happened to those kind of programs. I would like to bring back. They had sewing programs, teaching the young girls how to make, at the time of the pandemic, how to make masks and all them things. And so these are little programs that some can't afford to get Soldier Road to BTVI. So you bring some programs that BTVI up to the city, to the inner city, to the people, and try to give them the basics so that they can better themselves.
I can vote for you. Come in my constituency. I can vote for
you. Which constituency are you in?
You see, the problem with me is in St. Anne's, it really don't make me. I've been voting from the time I could vote, and it just don't make no sense because I vote in PLP, and PLP ain't been in St. Anne's.
No, man, then you make you vote there then.
But, to stand in the sun on every time this thing come around, it really doesn't make much sense.
It does, I know, I hear you, but then it gives you your voice. It doesn't matter if you vote PLP, FNM, whatever. You get your voice, and you can say, I voted. Even though your party or your person may have lost, that is your right. And I always encourage people, I don't care, vote. Just vote.
Yeah.
Always encourage people that, but I wouldn't want to go up against Adrian White. That's my friend. I can't go up against him in St. Anne's.
No, but you ain't
pick another area.
You ain't going up against him. You going up against the wealth.
You know what? I ain't going up against them. I can stick to Fort Charlotte.
Yeah, man. Oh, that's gonna be fun this time around.
If the rumors as it goes, but
that's gonna be fun because Minutes look like he's really he's gearing up.
Boy, Anyway, I go on that one.
I go on too. Drink my Bougainvillea tea.
Enjoy your tea, my brother.
All right.
Text says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Pearly. Love idea of the halfway house on the bridge. I believe the new PI was 25 million. The new PI was 250 million. If you told 50 million in today's money, I may have believed that. I think I might have your grammar a little off there. Good afternoon, Pearly. With respect to the situation with the Reverend C.B. Moss, I wish to commend him for the work he has been doing over the many years, and I agree that something needs to be done to fix the problems regarding the homelessness in Nassau in particular. However, the government has been paying to house Haitians in the Poinciana Inn on Bernard Road for several months now, while Bahamians are sleeping in cars, abandoned houses, and on beaches. Every morning you pass there, you would see children dressed for school and sometimes playing in the yard. Check it out. I knew that there was. I didn't know it was. I heard about it, and I didn't know it was still going on. Pearly, remember when you would not go in the kitchen when mother was cutting onions? Why? What is the story about onions? Mr. Producer, let's take a break. This is our first break. This is Talking Heads on a Thursday afternoon. My name is Burley. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Don't go nowhere. We're coming right back.
Boom, shaka-laka, yo, here comes the cheap rocker, rock it round. So drop above the tip, you're not my knocker. For sure, for top the ride, I make the people say, ooh, ah. Try to break fire, I bet you in the eye. Punch them in the belly, stepped on the feet, slam the towel on the...
Turn up the heat and the flavor with the new Jalapeno Fire from KFC. Crunch into the iconic taste of KFC's original recipe, extra large filet that's made with KFC's secret recipe of 11 herbs and spices cooked to perfection. Stacked high with spicy jalapeno peppers, pepper jack cheese, and our cool but kickin' jalapeno sauce, all wrapped up in a soft toasted brioche bun. Go bolder and crank up the heat with our spicy zinger filet. The new Jalapeno Fire is bringing the heat, and it's finger-licking good.
Father's Day is just around the corner, and there's no better place to find the perfect gift than Kelly's House and Home. Shower your dad with a gift from Kelly's House and Home's Father's Day sale Friday, June 6th through Saturday, June 14th. Save 20% off selected tool sets, luggage, and fishing, diving, and camping gear, except on net items. Shop Kelly's House and Home on Saturday, June 14th, and you could win a fabulous gift basket for Dad. Visit our Facebook page for more information. Kelly's House and Home's Father's Day sale, June 6th through 14th. Happy Father's Day, all with love from Kelly's House and Home.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
We're still here. Since 1941, the Armory Company has been your trusted partner and one-stop solution for all your business and technology needs. From printers to copy or leasing, point of sale to cloud video surveillance, and access control to ATMs, we've got it all. And we ship to all family islands. Call our dedicated customer service team now at 397-1600 or visit us behind Wendy's on Mackey Street and experience excellence that stands the test of time. The Armory Company. Your success is our business.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty, hosted by Earl the Pearl. On Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
It's time for The Buzz. What are you buzzing on? Brought to you by John's Shoes.
And welcome back. Talking Heads Thursday here on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. This is your boy Pearly in the house. We're talking about anything you want to talk about. And we looked at the front page, 86 million price tag for the bridge. It's another shooting in Harbor Island. And you know, I love Harbor Island. The first time I ever went to Harbor Island, I stayed at the Valentine's Yacht Club. So I got off the boat, went, checked in, and the lady said, you're in room, I think it was, I can't remember now, let's say 10, room 10. I said, okay, thank you, where's my key? She said, key? We have no keys for no hotel rooms here. I said, miss, I'm from Nassau, I need my key. She literally had to dig up in a drawer to try find the key for the room. And I was locking my door because that's what I'm used to doing. That was my first trip in Harbor Island. That was in 1987. Next thing I look, I was married. LPIA would be in it if this Haitian invasion isn't dealt with. There's a ban on Haitians to go to America. So with all these people coming here and citizenship handing out to them like candy at a kid's party, paper behemoths just to get to the USA, what do you think is going to happen? Further, those who have already abused the process will be returning to the Bahamas, including criminals. We would be finished. I am concerned, and you know, if this is really, really happening, I am really concerned about that. But I forgot to do a couple of things. Let me just get this quick. Guardian Media Group and Going Places Travel wants to take you on a 7-day cruise for 4 to Panama, Colombia, Curacao, and Aruba on Royal Caribbean Serenade of the Seas. And here's the best part, no visa required. That's right, no visa required. You have 4 ways to enter, 4 ways to win. Fill out the form in the Nassau Guardian. Listen to Star 106.5 and Guardian Radio 96.9. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, or make a purchase at Going Places Travel. Entry deadline coming up now, June 27, 2025, and the drawing is on July 4, 2025. Pack your bags, get ready to soak up the sun and feel that ocean breeze. You and 3 loved ones sailing the high seas on a vacation cruise of a lifetime. Brought to you by the Guardian Media Group and Going Places Travel. Certain conditions apply, airfare, taxes, and gratuities not included. And one more, Happy Father's Day from Naughty Johnny's 2025. Crab and rice, fried snapper, coleslaw and plantain, and decadent chocolate cake, $57.95. Check out Naughty Johnny's. Caller, you are on the air. How you doing?
Really?
Hey.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, right there, buddy. What you saying?
Really, I got a little issue. I'd like for you to help me or help the country or figure out how we should approach it as a people.
Okay.
And I mean, as I listen in for a number of weeks, I've been listening to this growing conversation amongst us about illegals. And I want to put it in the word illegals because generally as a people, I don't personally believe that we have problems with persons of other nationality in our country when we as a people are numbered across the world like sand on the seashores. We don't have a problem with other nationalities. We have a problem with persons who migrate into our country illegally and then operate as if they're entitled to the same rights or liberties as we are as a people.
Uh-huh.
In terms of the illegal contact or construct, there's a conversation going on in our society now of, like, all of a sudden there seems to be this influx of illegals in particular. And so, you know, I wanted to do my own research and just talk, and I have my way I go about trying to gather information. And so recently at one of the watering holes, guys were just around, I overheard a conversation from an immigration officer that was appalling, sir.
Uh-huh.
That said that based on his observation, he observed illegals coming into our country, and upon them notifying certain authorities, they were told, leave that crew. And I say, what? That crew? Yeah, this was about 600. And I'm like, what?
Wait. 600 coming in one time? It can't. I don't know now. That's on a boat because it can't be on no plane. Ain't no plane coming about.
Further to this point, the person then said, when was the last time you hear about any getting catch like that? So you think all of a sudden that we just got a handle on dealing with them to that extent that y'all don't hear nothing but it no more?
But maybe this government don't believe. Maybe this government don't believe in raiding.
I say no, but it seems like there's another conversation there. I'm being intentional in terms of hearing the conversations from what's going on in different quarters of our society. There was a conversation recently about how the regularization of other persons of other nationality, and I try not to single out any particular nationality, and how persons are being found to have passports or voting documents and stuff when there's almost no clear understanding of how these persons get these documents when these are persons who have previously been deported or persons who are not even in country. How you get these documents? And so I don't know how we as a people, and I'm not talking about as a government, how do we as a people, Pearly, go about trying to determine what is going on in our country as it relates to immigration or illegal migration, because there's no freedom of immigration. Freedom of Information Act or so.
The government said that's a priority right now. The government said that's not a priority. They got to take care of cost of living, immigration, all these other things, but freedom of information is not a priority to them.
No, but Pearly, one of the things that concerned me, right, for example, we had a recent situation where there was an indictment with the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
Oh, I want to know who get the $2 million. I still want to know that.
Hold on. But I want to know if there are any of our other agencies with this high level of corruption could possibly be taking place, like the Department of Immigration, Pearly. That's my concern. And when we hear nothing as it relates to the internal investigation of these matters, there was something just went down in Auckland, I think it was recently, with a police officer, and some voice notes again. This one with these voice notes don't seem to be treated like the last one with the voice note. Is he going on gardening leave or is he on gardening leave? No one knows. There's no accountability nowhere. And so I just wanted to share that as I listen to people talk about this concern. And to be direct, Haitians has been amongst us for years.
Yeah.
But now it seems people are starting to become more concerned, not about them as a nationality, but about the fact that it seems to be some intentional depopulation of us as a people in cahoots with this same sitting administration. It is what it is, Pearly.
Wow, that's deep. You say you deep. Some serious talk, Mr. McCullough. Wow. I hope you all hear what the man say. I'm not reading that. It says, Brother Pearly, the Bahamas is deep in the illegal immigration problem, and only the U.S. government correct this problem in the Bahamas with sanctions and restrictions. Our political persons supporting this operation, and why do they, from Grand Bahama, we are listening today? I don't want to sound insensitive or anything like that, but I don't think I could go in any store, any gas station, any store, fast food, Kong salad place, and the person is not speaking English. And I try to figure out what's going on. I'm trying. I may sound like a little fumbling here, people, but I try not to say the wrong thing. I'm concerned. Everybody has a right to live. Everybody has a right to have, a best form of living, but we got to do it right. And while we you know, you hear the Minister of Foreign Affairs say we need certain people, we need certain things done in the country. But let's do it the right way. What you say, caller? You on the air? How you doing?
Sorry, Pearly, I got disconnected just now.
Oh, I hang up on you. Sorry, I thought you was finished talking because you're going quiet. Go ahead.
The last point I want to make on this issue about migration or what we seem to be dealing with in our society, and I want to highlight, or you go into the food stores today, something that was traditionally our young men in particular, or our young people in particular doing after school or...
Parking boys.
The parking boys.
Yeah, both my... I didn't do it. I worked at a gas station, but both my sons were parking boys, actually at Kelly's. But then, hey, between you and you, they used to make big tips, you know.
But those very same... That very same generation or demographic is the word. That very same demographic of people in our society, that age bracket that we know of, we look forward to when we hit 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, we could go get our parking boy job to the food store. They are now competing with grown adults of another nationality just for work in the food stores now. And these persons are working all day, every day now.
Well, see, now the food store policy is if you under 16, you can't come to work till after 3 because you should be in school. I know that's their policy. So what they're doing is now bringing adults in from 8 in the morning till 3, and them adults stay until longer. That's really what's going on there. I question.
The food store,
I question that.
Grocery can't speak English.
Now that's a different story. That's a concern. Because now me and you might have too much.
How much you should tip them?
You can demand me. I don't tell you. Tip you. Here's a tip. Walk straight. Look both ways before you cross the street. If you want to be like that.
Sometimes the tip in the food stores be to tell these boys how to fill up their pants and things.
Yeah.
But these other people want to demand you tip them. They tell you $2.
You know, you can't tell me that because there's no law that says I have to tip to begin with. There's no law that says I have to tip, but we do that. That's a part of it. We understand that's a tradition. We understand you park and you get them something. You know, I think my mom used to tell me 50 cents a bag, but that's when you used to go to the food store and you're getting 10 and 15 bag. Now you're only getting one. You can't get them out 50 cents a bag for one.
I think what we are experiencing as a people right now is the result of us not taking a greater appreciation for bohemianization in our country. I think it should start. I don't think as a people we need to look and say, the government needs to do this, or the government may be complicit or involved in it somewhere. I think if we develop a greater sense of appreciation for that which is bohemian within us, it would be more difficult for any nationality to come in and redefine who we are as a people culturally and traditionally.
Want me to tell you why I beg to differ with you a little bit in terms of bohemianization? We grew up with our parents saying, my son ain't weeding no yard. He going off to school. He going to Saks and Johns and St. Anne's. He going to QC. He going off to college. My son ain't packing no groceries. My son ain't doing this. My daughter ain't doing that. So what happens? Nobody to do it. So what? The illegal migrants end up doing it because we think that we too big or too good to do those kind of jobs. But and I'm a firm believer, no matter what your job is, as long as it's an honest day's living, you doing an honest day's work.
However, Pearly, that's where I disagree with you.
Okay.
And differ from you.
Fair
I
enough.
believe that is what was bohemianization for me. To grow up and know you're getting your little job in the food store. That's how you learn. That's how you learn to earn. And,
you're right.
And reading around the yard and this. Like those were the things that made us unique as a people, in my opinion.
You're right. You're very right. But I got a couple other callers here begging to come on. But you're making sense. I appreciate the call, my brother. Don't be a stranger. Call you on the air. How you doing?
Hey, Pearly.
Hey, what's up, brother?
You was a parking boy before?
No, I work in the gas. I pump gas. I used to work. My daddy had a gas station in Grandstand. I used to pump gas there.
That was a good job to be a parking boy back in the days, boy.
But listen, I know when my sons started working as parking boys at Kelly's, they're bringing home $50, $80 a day in tip.
Yeah, some good days. The people see.
Especially during the Christmas.
See, I like that idea what the gentleman said, what we need to continue to do, with, especially us who like the tip and know about our children being parking boys, or we being parking boys and parking girls in the past. Always tip, right?
Yeah.
But I like what he say. Give them a little word at the same time. Pull up your pants, brother. Yeah, this one $2 a dollar, but pull up your pants, man.
Yeah.
But you're a rascal, so why you ain't combing your hair?
Yeah.
Or, find out if they need help.
Yeah.
Give them some suggestion at the same time. Remember all of Dwayne Benamy, them, Owen Burroughs, Julian Burroughs, Glenn Adderley.
I know,
City
yeah.
Market.
City Markets, yeah.
That was a sweet job, City Market. But I mean, I've been a portion control supervisor and everywhere.
Okay.
I worked at the Producer Exchange.
All right.
Over the summer, I come from working, man. I believe in working and making things happen.
Amen.
That's why I could use the brain now. I might get around and use the muscle. But let me say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers.
Yes.
Yeah? Including you.
Thank you.
I want to dedicate a song since they ain't going to play it on the radio. They might not have time to do it. So you all who could get YouTube and on your phone, pull up Kevin McKenzie. I think that's Kevin McKenzie used to sing, Daddy's a special people too.
You know that song, Mr. Producer?
And that dedicated to everyone.
Kevin McKenzie, Daddy's a special people too?
I want to dedicate it to the stepdaddies, them stepdaddies who love us, in spite of them knowing none of the children is their children.
Yeah, that's
knowing
good,
I
man.
am your child.
That's a good man.
You still love me. When I get sick, you feel my pain. You go to the hospital and everything. Not the fathers, not the stepdaddies who molest and all that.
No.
This ain't the day we talking about that. We talking about the
You're talking about the real stepdaddies. To love the woman, you got to love the child, and you got to take care of the child.
Listen to me. Don't make it sound like it's a forced thing, because that's your rights if you don't want to do it. I mean, unless you see the light to know what time it is, to know that them babies, they don't care who the daddy is. That baby only need love.
Yeah.
You understand? And maybe you have to go through it to know what time it is. And to know what time, and that's what we need to do, love these children, them and stuff like that. And I wish the daddies, we had more strength and power inside us that don't walk away. I know it's a lot of foolishness you got to go through.
Yeah.
Being spiteful, vindictiveness, and all kinds of foolishness. But you got to think about the bigger picture, man. Them children, we need our daddy. Them children need us.
Yeah.
Don't worry about them mothers, them saying, oh, that's my child, I could do it. Listen to me. Don't worry about that. Ignore that, because if we allow that, that's the works of the devil. We got to be there for them children. Open the door at any time. I don't care if you have another wife, girlfriend, or whatever. Them children come first, but that's what we bring them in the world for. But
that's
don't
right.
let them suffer. So I respect all y'all daddies out there. Like I say, Kevin McKenzie say daddies are special people too. Y'all can listen to that if it's possible. I salute all of y'all, all the daddies in Fox Hill Prison, even the daddies them were dead and gone, because they do a lot of good for us.
Amen. I know my daddy did a lot of good for me. I know that.
You didn't know about your granddaddy?
I knew about my granddaddy. My granddaddy, my father's side died when my daddy was a baby, but my granddaddy on my mother's side was very instrumental. Miss Josie Nixon. Josie Nixon from Inagua. He was a great man.
Back in the days, them grandparents them played. I know they still playing a role now, but they kind of should mix up now, because babies having babies and they grannies before they 40s and stuff.
Yeah.
And they gain about it the wrong way. But them grannies and back in the days, the daddies and the mommy, they play a major role. I remember my grandfather. Bishop, he bigging up all the daddies.
That's your Grammy? That's your grandfather?
Oh, Bishop Stanley Austin Martin.
One of the founding members of Nassau Village. The founder of Nassau Village, yes.
He get it from the white boys. I think they say the Bakers or something like
that.
Yeah,
the Bakers, they're the Jews. The Bakers, they're the ones who actually donate the park or they're on the corner.
My old lady and all my uncle them and stuff is the settlers, weeding the cutlass and weeding the road to make the road and all of that. I think they did on a daddy a little bit. They gave him some little cheese.
Yeah, they did.
They think they effing and stuff. Daddy was the effing.
Oh, okay.
And granny them was effing them.
Okay.
But, big up to all the fathers them.
Thanks for calling.
And I ain't worrying, and it's amazing. Like, we making a bunch. Anyhow, too bad, too sad. I guess mothers just as special or special.
But this that's Father's time now. Mothers are this last month, this June, this Father's month.
Yeah, but they don't celebrate. But I mean, we couldn't be in here without the daddies.
That's
and
true.
I thank God for my daddy in Freeport, Wellington, Thomas Forbes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Island, but he over there in Freeport, citizen and everything.
All right.
You know what I wanted to say. With the Haitian situation, not the Haitian, but the illegal situation. I listened to the news, and them people in California, they say the Mexicans lifting up their flags, some of the illegals said, and they feel like they have a right. I know it's a different situation in Mexico. Maybe they'd take the land from the Mexicans to own it for California. But it reminds me a little bit about the Bahamas and Haiti. We do listen to some of these Haitian them.
But the difference is the Americans, it was a melting pot. The Americans were made up from the Pilgrims who came there in 1620 something, 1620.
So you think the Americans owe the Mexicans? They really owe them?
They owe all because they've all come to build that country.
So what about the Bahamas? Do we owe them Haitian people them? I mean, because I feel like when I listen to the young Haitian them now, right? Their attitude is different from the set who might have been here before the 60s, who been here in the 50s and the 60s, and who have different generations. I'm talking about these set who just come in the last 20 years.
The ones who just reached. The ones who have been here from the 60s and 70s helped build this country. But the ones who are here now, they just reach.
Yeah, but I mean, if you listen to them, tell me something. Although they have the passports, right? Can we do this thing with the smart people and them lawyers, people with money, like gather up some money together, maybe have what you call an injunction and ask the court to don't allow all of these people who get passports, these Haitian people who get passports, and particularly the Haitian people for a reason. I can tell you why now. Who get passports in the last 5 years. Let's check them out. Let them skip this election. Let's check them out. They shouldn't even be on the line. I don't want to force them off
I
the line.
understand what you're saying.
I want to do it the right way with the
Commission
court.
of Inquiry.
And the reason why I say this, right, particularly the Haitian people, because our prime minister, in spite of us, some of us know him all our life, we just never know. He say he's Haitian.
Well, he say he's not. He ain't say he's Haitian. He just say he's one of them. Now, I don't know what that means. He didn't say I'm Haitian. He said I'm one of y'all.
He say he of Haitian heritage.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, of Haitian heritage.
And I got some more callers.
Keep up the good work, my
Thanks,
brother.
brother.
Happy Father's Day to all the daddies, them, because daddies are special people. I thank God for my children, them. I love them. I love how they,
Happy Father's Day to you too, my brother.
I love me to see them. Give God the thanks. And God is the ultimate father, Give
Amen.
thanks to God.
Amen. Thanks, brother. Read the text. Pearly, that caller going to jail. I don't think you mean Papa, but I don't know which caller you mean. Good afternoon, Pearly. The numbers in Eleuthera is alarming. It's almost as much Haitian on Eleuthera as Bahamians. It looks like this administration is planning a replacement. Suck my DT. Good day, bro. Enjoying the show. Can you end the show with a song, Funky? But I think Papa beat you to it. I think Papa beat you. Good day. The adult illegal immigrants take all the parking boy jobs. Some of these businesses should preserve the jobs for Bahamian boys. Call you on the air. How you doing?
Hey, Pearly.
Yes, sir.
What's happening?
Hey,
By the time I call you and I tell you how much citizenship was in the paper.
Yeah.
All right. So, you see, more and me want to know this.
No, people noticing it's becoming an issue.
And man, listen, it's done an issue. Remember one year they had something, they said it was over 100 or 1,000 of them,
Yeah, maybe more.
And they almost, I believe it's more of them here than us. I get a little skeptical now.
I know what you mean.
And then, on top of that, we are giving out citizenship almost like candy to them. And then these people can't speak English. And I told somebody, we got this pre-clearance.
Mm-hmm.
We might soon lose it.
You know what? You're the second person to say that to me. Somebody said that to me yesterday.
We are, don't mind me till I'm talking. This thing with the immigrants come from the top.
Yep.
Remember when that fella invite them, it was a big rally?
Yep.
Joe found the road.
Yep.
They fill up there's plenty of them here then.
Yep.
Now this other one said is more, what? Is you unused one?
Yep. I'm one of
yours.
yours.
The next fella who given out, what is Minister of Foreign Affairs? That's another story again. So, either the Bahamians got to stand up and rebel enough. I don't know why in the world we are giving out these people our citizenship. These people.
I'm very concerned about that. A friend of mine told me, and I don't know how true this is, so I'm telling you, I do not know how true this is, but he has a lady that cleans for him, and she came to him and said she can get a citizenship. She need $14,000. Now,
yeah. That was good. My matter of fact, one year I remember when they grabbed one, she said she claimed she paid $10,000.
Wow.
To get citizenship for a child or something. But we see, we gonna lose. I don't mind, but we gonna lose. I like my country. I'm a Bahamian.
I'm a Bahamian.
I war for this country.
I'm a Bahamian. I'm a born Bahamian.
I'm a native by my grandpa and everybody. They born.
I born in PMH, grew up in Chippenham. I'm a Bahamian. I love my country.
And that's the thing. The next thing you talk about the parking boys. I used to park.
Okay.
On my days when I used to go park, I get 50 cents. That's big tip.
That was big tip, yeah. If you anywhere near my age, yeah, that's big tip.
That's big tip in my days. I look forward to get a customer all the time. And not to the car, sometimes I have to walk in the area.
Yeah, they don't let you do that no more. They ain't told nobody home no.
I push the trolley in the area.
They ain't let you do that.
Places, give me that.
All right. Thanks for calling. I got a couple more calls. I'm getting quick. Call, you got 30 seconds. We're running out of time. What's up?
Hey, Pearly, what's happening?
Right there. What you saying?
I make this very short and sweet. This is a conversation that's been had a very long time ago. And we're still having this conversation, and yet nothing has changed.
I agree.
And if we expect anything to change, especially, unfortunately, with the current administration, it's not going to change, because I asked a question just last week. When last did you hear of any repatriation exercises?
Exactly.
There's been none. And then in Parliament, the Honorable Alfred Sayers, gave a figure to how much money has been spent thus far on repatriations. My question has always been,
when it happened.
okay, well, you're spending the taxpayers' money on repatriation exercises. feeding, clothing, and taking care of these the immigrants, whether they're Haitians or others here.
Uh-huh.
How are we, the taxpayers, receiving our monies back? The Bahamian taxpayer isn't receiving anything back. And yet, you send them home, and they come right back here to do the same thing over again. You capture them again, you send them back home again, and it's just a continuous cycle. So when are these people when are the governments from these other nations going to pick up the slack and start paying for the repatriation exercises that we're doing?
That's a good question.
We hear nothing across the board where these governments are reimbursing the Bahamas government, i.e. the Bahamian people, for the money spent to send their people back home.
Good question.
But
That's my producer.
We keep on hearing these stories about the 15,000 and the 10,000 that they spend for our passports and our legal documents.
Yep.
How can you make people who are here illegally legal?
I hear you. Gotta go. Producer Demi, gotta go. Thank you so much for the calls. Thank you for the texts. Thank you for just listening. I appreciate it all. Talking Heads Thursday on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. When we get back, we can talk a little sports. But let's get this. I don't know, is Cuban really legal or illegal? I hope Cuban really legal. Anyway, Cuban really with his new America report. I think he's got his passport. I think he got a work permit. He'll be back after the news.
And of how it can make things better. He's working hard every day just to keep the family together. Though he seems so serious most of the time, and often he won't show that he's gentle and kind. We know he loves us and we should put our trust in him, because Daddy, you're my hero. All I do is win, 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 no matter what.
Feeling lucky? Here's Cuban Willie's numerology report. Brought to you by the Island Game.
Buenos días. Hello, everybody. It is Thursday. Time for my numerology report brought to you, of course, by the Island Game. And today is Cuatro Pelotas. The 4 lucky balls for you today. And the lucky Cuatro Pelotas, the lucky 4 ball for you today. The 9300. 9300. Play that and win with the Island Game. Stay winning, my friend.
Crunch your hunger cravings and satisfy the whole family with KFC bucket meals starting at just $20. Get freshly prepared golden fried chicken, buttery biscuits, and add your favorite large sides for flavor that will make your mouth happy and your feet dance. Order online or WhatsApp hi to 557-3663 to grab your KFC bucket today. Big flavor, bigger value, and always KFC. Finger licking good.
Been off the WSC grid for over a year? Now's the time to come back and save big. For a limited time only, the Water and Sewage Corporation is offering up to 50% off reconnection fees for customers disconnected for more than 1 year. Don't miss this chance to reconnect and enjoy reliable, quality water service at a discounted rate. Call 302-5599 to learn more. Water and Sewage Corporation, dedicated to dependable, affordable water solutions.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances, so come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
Fly away with me through the Bahama Keys.
Tired of the hustle and bustle of Nassau? Fly away to the Family Islands with our fly-free offer for Bahamian residents. Stay at any of our hotels for 2 nights and get a round-trip ticket for free. Visit BahamasResidence.com for details.
My Bahama land, yes, my country. Come fly away with me.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty, hosted by Earl the Pearl. On Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Talking Heads with Naughty is brought to you by the Bahamas Out Island Promotion Board, Burger King, City of Hope, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, Kelly's Home Center, KFC, Muffler World, Nassau Cruise Port, Naughty Johnny's, Percy Sound Games, Pindertal, Print Masters, Sandcastle Bahamas, Tropical Gyros, and the Water and Sewage Corporation.
I bet you in the eye, punched them in the belly, stepped on the feet, slammed the towel on the hard concrete. Now family, I'll be damn slim, just don't weep. Couldn't beat the smoke week, I'm so funky. Now hope to let me.
And welcome back to Talking Heads Thursday on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. This is Pearlie in the house. So good to be here with you again. Interesting first hour. I did. It's interesting to see when you do, and I deliberately today said I would just put it out there and see what my callers want to talk about. And it's interesting to see. I thought you may have gone in a different direction, but I'm pleased to see that we have some real social conscious thinking people here that we need to get into some things. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But let's get right into it. Today in sports history. Today in sports history on Thursday, June 12, 2025, in 1839, Abner Doubleday created the game of baseball. According to legend, however, evidence has surfaced that indicated that the game of baseball was played before 1800. In 1939, the National Basketball Hall of Fame and Museum was dedicated in Cooperstown, New York. In 1948, Ben Hogan won his first U.S. Open Golf Classic. In 1967, the Senators beat Chicago 6-5 in 22 innings. The game lasted 6 hours, 38 minutes, and ended at 2:43 a.m. and caused the league to adopt a curfew stating that no inning may start after 1 a.m. In 1981, Major League Baseball players began a 49-day strike. The issue was free agent compensation. In 1985, Wayne, the Great One Gretzky, was named winner of the NHL's Hart Trophy. The award was given to the league's most valuable player. In 1991, the Chicago Bulls won their first NBA championship. The Bulls beat my Los Angeles Lakers 4-1. In 1994, Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman were murdered outside her home in Los Angeles. O.J. Simpson was later acquitted of the killing, but he was held liable in a civil suit. In 1997, interleague play began in baseball, ending a 126-year tradition of separating the major leagues until the World Series. And in 2000, Steve Young of the San Francisco 49ers retired from the NFL. The sports quarter today, fans tend to get too excited by streaks of either kind, and I think the press does too. There should be no happy medium. Walt Alston. True words. No truer words. So, what's happening? Oh, we got a caller. Let's go to the caller right away because we can talk some more about this NBA Finals. Caller on there, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you, Pearlie?
I am most wonderful. How are you, my dear? How can I help?
I'm fine. I apologize, but I couldn't get through.
So you sneaking over into the sports section to get your word in?
But yes.
All right. Since is you, no problem.
Let's dispel this notion right now about the Haitians with the passport. Who claim to be Bahamians. Who think they're going to vote in our election. Let's dispel that right now, please. Please tell them don't stand on no line.
If you can't speak English, especially if you can't speak English.
Line.
Yeah.
Okay? The Bahamians, we're not going to put up with that.
No, that can't happen. You can't do that. That's so wrong.
Going to put up with that. Now, if the government doesn't want to tell them not to go on those lines to talk about vote, because you know they're going to let them register.
Yeah.
Okay? I tell them the Bahamian people can be the policemen that day.
Amen.
That's the end of that.
Thank you, darling. Interesting. That's the only one we left in today. So, NBA Finals. First of all, no. Before we get to NBA Finals, if there's only one, there are three teams in baseball Pearlie don't like. New York Yankees, San Francisco Giants. And the reason on the New York Yankees and the San Francisco Giants, you understand now, the Brooklyn Dodgers moved from Brooklyn to L.A., the New York Baseball Giants moved from New York to San Francisco and left the Mets and the Yankees, okay? So that was a rivalry, the Yankees, Giants, and the Brooklyn Dodgers. So that's the reason why I don't like the Giants. When we moved to San Francisco, they moved to San Francisco, we moved into LA. That rivalry continued there. So that's why I don't like them. But the team I don't like the most at this moment is the San Diego Padres. The Friars, they call them. And we took 2 out of 3 this weekend from them. 2 out of 3. Let's get that right. 2 out of 3. All right? We won the first game 8-7. They half killed us in the second game 11-1, and we beat them 5-2 yesterday. So I'm very happy about that. Manny Machado is probably my most hated baseball player. He was a Dodger for a short period of time and then get cocky with it and come, but he could win a World Series before the Dodgers. We've won 2 since he's left. Bye. So I'm excited. I'm happy. The National League West is becoming a great race. A great race between the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Giants. The Dodgers, of course, in first place. That's become a great race. A lot of the other divisions, and a lot of the other divisions, they got a little breathing room. You see? So the pressure on, and this will prepare Dodgers for the playoffs. The pressure on. Because if you look at the standings, let's take a quick look at the standings here. Naughty like to brag about the standings. In the National League West, the Yankees got a 4-game lead over the Toronto Blue Jays, a 6-game lead over the Rays, 9 over the Boston Red Sox, and the team that I really thought would have been the division, the Baltimore, is 14 games out. But I'll be some if they run them down 8, but I doubt that. In the Central, the surprising Detroit Tigers have a 7.5-game lead over the Twins, the Minnesota Twins. The Guardians 8 out, the Royals 9.5, and the White Sox pretty much out of it, 20 games out. In the West, the Houston Astros have a 4-game lead over the Angels, which is surprising. Over the Angels, the Angels that are close. The Mariners is 4 out. The Rangers, who I still think will win that division, are 5 out, and the Athletics are 12 out. So that's an interesting race. When we go over to the National League, the New York Mets, who spent a lot of money, got in Juan Soto, looking good, got a 5, and I still think the Phillies can win this division anyway. They got a 5.5-game lead over the Phillies, 14.5 over the Nationals, 15 is, and I thought the Braves would have been a lot better, 15.5, 15 over the Braves, and 18.5 for the Marlins. In the Central, the Chicago Cubs, who kind of did some rework, they got a 5-game lead over the Cardinals, 5.5 over the Brewers, 6.5 over the Reds, and 13.5 over the Pittsburgh Pirates. Over the National League West, where is the sweetest race of all, my Los Angeles Dodgers got a half-game lead over the lousy Giants, 2 games over the Padres, 6.5 over the Diamondbacks, and 28 games over the Colorado Rockies. So let's say the season ended today. In the National League will be the Mets, the Cubs, and the Dodgers, who are the division winners. The wild card will be the Giants, the Phillies, and the Padres. So the Padres will play the Dodgers, Giants and Phillies will play each other. That's how the first round of the playoffs will go. Over in the National League, over in the American League, Detroit, Yankees, and Houston will be the division winners. And then you get Toronto, Minnesota, and the Tampa Bay Rays will be the wild card. Tampa Bay play Houston, Minnesota play Toronto. That's how it would start. So it's shaping up to be a pretty good race so far and getting into the All-Star break. I don't usually get too excited about the race this early in the season because, you still got 80-plus more games to go. Anything can happen. I've seen fellas blow 10-game leads and all that stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens at the All-Star break. Even more interesting to see what happens when the trade deadline comes in, because my Dodgers, 14 pitches on the IL. And a friend of mine, says Eddie Carter, texted me, says, amazing how the Dodgers are able to be in first place with a AAA farm club pitching staff. Because if you take Yamamoto and Kershaw out of the mix, you're really pitching fellas who should still be in AAA. All right, so that would makes it a kind of interesting, kind of fun. My eyes be sitting on the edge of the seat. I be using them 2 cuss words I know, and it'd be really a trying time. But I'm excited about what's going on. I love what's going on with my Dodgers. We're off tonight, and we don't play today, so we get it. This is a travel day. And tomorrow, the Giants. Is it the Giants? Yeah, the Giants come into San Francisco. The San Francisco Giants come into Los Angeles to play us, and Yamamoto is pitching for us against their ace Webb. So that should be interesting to see. But right now, the Giants are playing. They're leading the Rockies 7-3. Everybody's leading the Rockies, and that's the only game. Oh, a couple other games already gone. The Mets beat the Nationals 4-3, and the Rangers all over the Twins 16-3. The next interesting thing I see happening out there is the Stanley Cup Championship. And Bahamas, warm weather, we don't pay much attention to it. Only Clint and a couple of my good friends pay attention to it. But the Florida Panthers had a really good game, the only game that didn't go overtime, and they beat the Edmonton Oilers in the last time they played. So game 4 is tonight, with Florida leading 2-1. Florida favorites tonight. I picked Florida to be in the Stanley Cup. I think they'll be back-to-back. They won last year. So that is really turned out. I peep into the game a couple of times. Hockey is kind of interesting, people. You know, it's a little hard to understand, but it's kind of interesting. So we know the World Cup preliminaries, the World Cup qualifiers are going on now. We got creamed by Grenada the other day, so I think we're eliminated from our chances of making the World Cup this year. But there's some interesting games going along, some interesting qualifying games coming up for the World Cup next year. You're hearing rumors talking about the FIFA is going to pull it from the United States, and that's just political bantering. I don't think they're going anywhere. I think we'll see them in the United States next year for the 2026 World Cup, which I'm excited about. A whole month to 6 weeks of great soccer. That's going to be nice, just to sit down and watch a lot of good soccer games. And you'll see a lot of games in real time. I mean, in our time. So it won't be like you're in Japan or in China or in Brazil and you got to wake up 3 o'clock in the morning. A lot of games can be on the East Coast and some on the West Coast of the United States. So you should get a chance to see a lot of good games at the regular times of the day. Now, last night, and, you know, I am not afraid to say when I'm wrong. I'm not afraid to say when I made a bad decision. I'm not afraid to say that I made a wrong pick. Because, you know, really, you're just going with your thoughts and your deeds. You're not perfect in whatever you pick and all that. And I did pick. And before we tell you that, we'll just go to the caller. Caller, you're there. How you doing?
You bet you was wrong. You was wrong yesterday, JC. You was wrong yesterday, JC. Lost $1 million last night. Catton got OKC in 5-2. You'd have been yesterday, JC. Yeah. But it's obvious, like you say, you don't watch basketball, because I hear you talking more foolishness the other day with Naughty, talking about this a team was supposed to get sweep.
If you really look at it.
I remind you of the 2001 Sixers and LA Finals and things where they only win the first one and get. What I tell you, Naughty, the other day, if Indiana brings a steel Titan defense, it's over.
Let me ask you a question. They play tomorrow night. They play tomorrow night, right? Is it tomorrow night they play?
Yeah, they play tomorrow night. Friday night, yeah.
They play tomorrow night. Does the winner of Game 4 win the championship?
Yes.
So
I'll say that, because if they go up 3-1, boy, it could be over in OKC.
But if OKC win,
and then if OKC tie that up, if they tie that 2 apiece in the best of the 3, with the last 2 in OKC, then yes, they could win the championship.
Okay.
They'll go to 7.
I asked that because they had Magic Johnson on Get Up. I know First Take this morning. Mm-hmm. And they asked Magic said the same thing. He thinks the winner of Game 4 will win the NBA title. If you see Indiana win tomorrow night, they ain't going to lose 3 in a row.
Yeah, but
I think if you see OKC wins and tie it up tomorrow, OKC could go home and probably take it up 3-2, and then maybe take it in 7 games.
That's how I was thinking too. But you see, they gave OKC a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, they sure did.
Slow turnovers. 21 points off 19 turnovers.
But you know what I'm noticing too, Muff? I think what is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander?
Yeah,
SGA.
Alexander. Yeah.
I think he's tired. He's tired.
Yeah, well, he only dropped 24 last
But he look a little lethargic. He looked tired. Let me put it this straight. He looked tired yesterday. And I don't know.
But Pearls, you know who killed them? Matrin killed them, man.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, man, the bench killed them, man. You see how Indiana bench outscored bad, they outscored them.
Yeah, the Indiana bench did do well. I can't complain.
Yeah, threw them right in, man. That's what was the difference.
Yeah, Indiana bench did well. And Halliburton did what I said he had to do. I said he can't wait till the fourth quarter to get his game around. He's got to come out from the first quarter, and that's what he did. I think he had 12 points in the first half. Yeah,
one pops around in that stadium.
You sure did. You sure did.
You don't play as good as that when you're on the road.
You sure did.
But Pearly, you see Kevin Durant, Miami trying to get Kevin Durant.
I see that, but the Knicks too. No, the only Miami is the Knicks as well in that money, and San Antonio. So I think 3, maybe Houston.
Yeah, and you know what I'm supposed to show you, Naughty? I believe New York will try go after Mike Malone. I believe they could bring him back over the commentator and then bring him back on the bench. Right?
Well, guess what?
He's a championship coach with get fired. He's in the ring and he get fired.
You know what I found amazing? But the Knicks did. The Knicks fired a good coach, and their belief was that he took them as far as he could take them. He couldn't get them over the hump. But it looked like they had no plan.
I believe in that.
They looked like they had no plan, though. They looked like they had no plan on what they was going to do if they fired him, because the 5 teams that they went to all tell them no.
And
the 5 teams they wanted to talk to the head coaches of the 5 teams, they told them no.
Hey, and Danny, let me tell you this too, man, because you talk about it after I hang up, boy. Yeah, you talk about any sense, boy. Man, with John Smith, boy. What we dealing with, man? Like you say, why don't we just pay him the $10 million and everything, just call it that? Now, Pittsburgh trying to get him.
Yeah.
And everything that.
I don't know.
Mr. is right, Mr. is right. But we just make some dumb decisions, boy.
Nah.
Over the years, the Miami Dolphins, man, they ain't fired the whole head office yet.
Nah, you got to think about it now. John O. Smith makes $4.1 or $4.5 million a year.
Yeah.
He had a good breakout year. He won
that game for us in December in overtime.
Yeah, he had a good breakout year, and now he comes, and I think he wants an extension. And personally, at 30 years old, I'll give him another year. I would give him, 25 and then 26 season, a 2-year contract, and see what happens. But,
I agree with you, man. Say the man. He waits for these again. Watch what someone else get him, and watch how he's getting. Because everyone who's leaving the Dolphins is killing their bad. Even Tannehill.
Now,
anyway, let me let someone else
but
get
before you go, think about it. There's a talk that they may be trading Jalen Ramsey to Atlanta for Kyle Pitts, the tight end. So that might be the reason why John O. Smith is becoming expendable. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good move, but Kyle Pitts has potential of being one of the best tight ends in the game. Maybe he needs a change of location, a change of home to see how he does. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, I agree with you. I want 17 games for the 2 of this year, man. I mean, you want to foolishness out there, man.
At least 16, but
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah. All right, boys. Let me
all right, brother. Thanks for listening.
You can link up, brother.
Okay, take time. So I mean, that's Muff made some interesting talks when you look at the Dolphins as to why they want to get rid of John O. Smith, and I don't understand it. It's amazing. Chris Greer got to go. I'm going to be the first to say, Chris Greer got to go. And if the Dolphins don't do well this year, McDonald's can be gone as well. So don't fool yourself. All right, that can happen. Carly on the air. How you doing?
Yes, man. Happy Father's Day in advance, man.
Hey, Mr. Yankee, how you doing? Happy Father's Day in advance to you, Mr. Yankee.
Yes, the Yankees, man, 41-25. Look at, we're going to sweep KC, and then we can wait for our next opponent.
And who's your next? You got KC tonight? You got one more game with KC?
Yeah. And then whoever come in, I didn't look at the schedule, but we ready, man. Listen, we can make a trade. We're going to get a good pitcher.
Oh, y'all going, just before you go on, y'all going to Boston for the weekend?
No, Boston ain't no big threat, man.
You'll see.
Boston ain't no real threat, that's it, though.
They took 2 out of 3 from y'all the last time you played them, so don't say they're no real threat. They took 2. They take 2 out of 3.
We're going to go into Boston, and we're going to knock their heads off.
All right.
That is one of the baseball best rivalry anyhow when you have Yankees and
it ain't as hard as it used to be, but it was a good rivalry back in the day.
It's always been hot. Yeah. It ain't as hot as it used to be, I agree.
Yeah.
But it's always been hot. And so we're going to take 2 out of 3 there. No problem. I just want Giles Chisholm to sort of level. I just want him to choke up on the bottom. I think he's trying to swing for the fence too often.
A lot of MLB players doing that. They don't hit for average like they used to. So you see a fella batting 202, but 20 home runs or 15 home runs right now. So a lot of them are doing that, swinging for the fence, and I don't like that so much. I like manufacturing runs. I like moving the runners across. I like that kind of stuff. But it is what it is.
He has the ability to do that. That's the reason why I want him to choke up and just get this. Straight out single or double off the wall, man. It's easy. That make the game more exciting.
Yeah. You
understand? Because he created a lot of havoc on the bases for any pitcher. So all he has to do is get on base.
Yeah, but is he batting? He batting 5th now for you, all right, or 6th?
Yeah, I think he's still batting 5th.
Okay.
But he just need to get on base. He get on base and create a lot of havoc.
Point.
And then once he gets on, then you could probably end up going straight to the end of the lineup.
Yeah,
you understand? Give yourself a chance to get all those 6, 7, 8, and 9 bat out the way.
Yeah.
So when you flip the thing, you're back at the top of the lineup.
Yeah. You're right.
It just make good sense to do that.
Yeah.
Because most of the time he got strike out a lot is because he's swinging for the fence.
He's swinging hard. He's swinging up a lot. Yeah.
So he need. I could see that from here. I hope the authorities in New York could see that.
Well, give him a call, bro.
Cut down on the swing and get that little compact hit. You know, because even if he hit the ball deep in the hole and then feel he could run it out with his speed. So it's he got so many things there's advantage.
Yeah, that's true. You got a point there.
Yeah. But anyhow, I can stay tuned and I'll watch a replay with y'all later night.
Which one? The one where we get half kill or you watched the 11-1 game or you watched the 87 win? Which one? Or 5-2 win last night?
I think the one y'all won that. Y'all came from mine and won that.
That's when we beat the Padres.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
But it was it was a back and forward. You know, the Padres didn't want to give up.
Yeah. We had a good game. We had a pretty decent game yesterday. You know, pretty good game yesterday. I look forward to it.
Yeah. So So I'll stay tuned and I'll listen.
All right, my brother. No problem. Thanks for listening. Let's take our first break. This is Pearly on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Is a Talking Heads Thursday. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. When we get back, we get into some more talk. We get into the picks. We got an interesting Cowherd. He's going to be talking about the Indiana Pacers and how special Halliburton is. We'll be right back.
Cause girlies, they crack. They stand around and back, so I say boom, shake the lock, grab the microphone, the rap. To think of the truth when on the mic, I'll say anything that sounds good. Like jump and sound over some, they got a hat and a mouse run up the stairs.
Hey, yo, man, stop right there. You messed up running back, K.
See, if it was up to get the show, so don't be trying to knock me. I say what
Fancy this one-of-a-kind Pesto Club sandwiches from Burger King Nassau like you've never tasted before. Choose from a juicy chicken breast or a 100% flame-grilled beef patty topped with irresistible fresh pesto spread, cheese, crisp bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Or start your mornings right with the Pesto Chicken Croissant for breakfast. It's a delicious chicken patty topped with cheese, tomato, and fresh pesto spread on a classic buttery BK croissant. The Pesto Club sandwiches are new, fresh, and only at Burger King Nassau.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Looking for tech solutions without the hassle? Since 1941, the Armory Company has been the Bahamas' trusted tech partner. From access control and cloud video surveillance to smart home setups and laptop repairs, we handle it all. Need a repair? We've got you covered, no matter where you bought it. Can't find what you need? Call us at 397-1600 for a custom solution. Visit us behind Wendy's on Mackey Street with delivery to all family islands. The Armory Company, where your tech problems meet their match.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
Calling all beer lovers. Get ready for Portside Pints. Join us on Saturday, June the 21st from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Nassau Cruise Port to sample beers from all around the world with live music and amazing Bahamian food. $10 general admission includes a free Portside Pints beer mug, or take it up a notch and check out our exclusive VIP lounge. That's the Portside Pints Beer Festival, June 21st at Nassau Cruise Port. Don't miss it. Visit Facebook or Instagram for details.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty, hosted by Earl the Pearl. On Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
We're back. Talking Heads on a Thursday afternoon, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. I gotta talk to Naughty with these songs. Naughty picking these or you picking these? You picking up? Naughty picking. I gotta have a talk with Naughty with these songs. I don't know them. That's. I guess my age is coming out. I don't anyway. So, what? I had a question to ask out there. What are your feelings on this NBA championships? I'm not feeling it. I watched the game somewhat last night. I watched the first quarter, some of the second quarter, and half of the fourth quarter. It just has not been grabbing me. I am an NBA fan. I am I'm a sports fanatic. Period. All right, but I'm just not feeling this the way some people are feeling it, and I don't know. Something is just, to me, it's two small market teams. Let's be real. OKC, Indiana, they're small market teams. They're not the LAs or the New Yorks or the Bostons of basketball. So I don't know. I just don't know. It's something that's not grabbing me. And mind you, the talent is there and the play is great. It's just not grabbing me. You know, I'm just, I don't know. Let's see what this text has to say. OKC in 6 games. I said 5, maybe 6. I'm leaning towards 6 right now. But I think it probably is going to go 7 now. If Indiana, whoever wins tomorrow night will determine whether we gain 5 or we gain 7. All right? If OKC wins tomorrow night and tie it up, I think they're going to go home and go up 3-2. But Indiana's not going to drop dead at home, and they'll be back to OKC for game 7. If Indiana wins it tomorrow, then dog eat their lunch. Callie on the air. How you doing?
Hey, Pearly, what's going on? All is well?
Hey, Mystery, what's happening?
Everything good. Listen, as long as Indiana hold on, because Indiana took home court advantage from OKC that first game. So as long as they hold on to that advantage, they're going to win the series.
If they hold on to the home, yes. And that's what I say. I think
they hold on to that,
yes,
they're going to win.
And I say the winner of game 4, I think, will be the winner. If Indiana wins at home in game 4, it might still write it off. Even if they lose in OKC for game 5, they'll take it when they get back home.
That's what I'm saying, because that would still be home court advantage.
Yeah, but if OKC determines to take home court advantage back, then we're going to see an interesting last 3 games.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I believe the series going to 7.
I'm starting, even though I pick Oklahoma in 5, maybe 6, I'm starting to believe we're going to have a game 7. And maybe it'll turn out to be a great NBA championship by doing that.
Yeah, this is good competition. OKC meet up at a team. They didn't thought they was going to get what they're getting right now.
Because they play so much defense and they getting punched in the nose, punch in the mouth, punch in the belly, kick in the groin. They just getting everything done to them that they've been doing.
Indiana.
And I pointed one more thing. SGA is not getting those calls he was getting in regular season. He's not, and they were starting to call him Mr. Flop, or every time he just tap him on the shoulder, he's not getting them.
He got some serious
defense on him. They're double teaming him, and he's not getting the calls that he was getting during the regular season, because playoffs, you don't get the same thing. So he has to adjust, and if he doesn't adjust, they'll be in problems.
That's right. I agree. All right. Have a good one.
You mean you and I actually agree on something today?
Hey, that's why. You know what? I even go into the Dolphins because I don't want to ruin this moment.
Let's never ruin this moment. Okay, brother.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the call. All right. But even though he don't want to get into the Dolphins, I'll get into the Dolphins. I'm really concerned about some of the moves the Dolphins are making. We're about to lose for sure Jalen Ramsey any day now. Any day now he's going to be traded. And then you're talking about trading Jono Smith. And then you're talking about trading Hill. What's going on? So are we talking about taking a whole step back for a year and regrouping? Then you got some players on the board. Well, we do have a young defense, a really young defense. We need help in the cornerback position, I agree, but we have a very young front line. I mean, Sela might be the oldest. He is the oldest of the crew, but Grant, the rookie, he's going to be something special. You get Phillips back. You get Chubb Robinson and Chubb back, Bradley Chubb back. So I'm excited about their young players. We got some good young linebackers there. So I don't know. I love what Weaver's doing. Weaver did the defense look pretty good. I think in the top 15 last year, top 12, top 10 somewhere in defense, overall defense last year. He's getting his feet wet. He's getting used. I'll tell you a secret. if the Dolphins don't do well offensively and McDaniels loses his job, Beaver could be the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins. You heard it here first. You heard it right here first. So that's going to be interesting to see what's going on. I don't know. I don't like the moves Greg's making. I think this is if the Dolphins don't make a serious run this year, heads gonna roll. I can promise you that much. Heads gonna roll because I'll even be calling for the heads to roll because I don't understand it. I just sometimes these moves I see Greg make, some of these picks, some of these things he do. Mind you, he's made some good picks now, and maybe because I'm a fan and maybe we looking at him so much under a microscope that we believe they're making some bad moves. And some people may be saying he's making a good move, but I don't know. Too many draft busts, not enough draft hits, and I'm very concerned about that. As a long-time Dolphin, 50-plus year Dolphin fan, it's disturbing. It's very disturbing. Let's see what this text has to say. Hey, Pearly, the Dolphins need to get rid of their coach. He made some very bad decisions last year. And he did. But the year before, he made some good decisions. Last year, he made some bad decisions. And so I think this is his make or break year. I agree with you, Dexter. Much as I like him as a coach, if he don't do something, time to go. Got to make a change. Too many hot coaches out there. Too many hot coordinators out there who doing some things differently. You see, Detroit lost their defensive and offensive coordinator because they made some great innovative moves. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be trying to watch the Dolphins. Not trying, testing. You know what? It's going to be hard to watch the Dolphins this year if they don't win. But I think if they were to do some things, McDaniels may save his face. But if this team does not do well, if they finish 8-9 or 7-10, trust me, heads can roll. And when I say heads, you're going to see Tua gone probably or some. Well, I think we're stuck with Tua this year and next year based on his contract. There's an out clause after the 26th season. So I think we'll see Tua this year and next year. And then if things don't start progressing in the right direction, then some things will happen. But that means McDaniels can still go next year. It doesn't mean to be stuck with him. It don't mean to be stuck with Chris Greer. So those kind of changes can happen, probably will happen if the Dolphins don't do something fantastic this year. And I talk at least win a playoff game. You got to win a playoff game. And if you make it to the AFC Championship game, you're straight. If you make it to the Super Bowl, Lord, you can write your ticket. Hey, I'm on radio. I can speculate that or I can hope for that, I guess. But he's got a tough road to go this year. They got some big teams to play this year. And if they don't do some things right, he's going to be in problems. He's going to be in big problems. The text has to say here. Pearly, I told a coworker yesterday that until Ross moves off the scene and Greer be replaced, nothing will happen for us. Ross, the owner, must be intimate with him. They're changing head coach like they change clothes, but our GM is in the same position for years. And, some people question the ownership of Ross as if he's in it only to make the money, because the Dolphins making good money there. They're making good money. Or is he, does he want to win? Is he serious about winning? And that question is being asked by a lot of people. Because what Chris Greer has gotten away with as a general manager for the Dolphins, probably and a bunch of other teams would have been fired long time ago. So when I see that happen, you got to question that. You got to be saying, like, what is he doing? What is he getting away with? Why is he able to do these things, Why is he able to get away with these kind of things when we know our team frustrating the crap out of us? And, the thing is, Dolphin fans are so loyal. We are very loyal. We would jump up and say, every year, the Miami going to the Super Bowl. Every year we do that. Every year we say the Miami going to the Super Bowl. But not all of it. I'm more realistic now. I used to be like that. And then by December, we pissed off, we mad, we upset, and we getting teased. So, and then Greg gets away with it. He makes some moves that, but then you know what? He makes these one or two moves that electrifies the play. You got Tyreek Hill in. Oh yeah, you brought Chubb Robinson in, Bradley Chubb in. Sorry. Oh, you made a good move, a good pick with Chubb Robinson. So when you see he make these one or two moves, which kind of offshadows some of the bad moves he make, Because I don't understand how we let a whole secondary go. I mean, I say a second. We lose Fuller, we lose Poyer, we lose the next safety about to lose this. We losing cornerback one, the two cornerback ones, or CB1 and CB2, and safety 1 and safety 2. I don't understand it. And and we didn't pick anybody up like that in the draft who could walk right in and start. Yes, we needed offensive line help, so we get Severino, whatever his name, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I know how to mess up names. We get him, so he's going to be a plug-and-play player. Grant is going to be a plug-and-play player. So I'm not mad at the number 1 and number 2 picks, not at all. But where we go from there? What do we do from there? How are we going from there? And, I know some Dolphin fans say, oh, Pearly, what you saying? You dogging your team. No, I'm being real. I'm concerned. As a Miami Dolphin fan. And I can tell you this, don't listen to Naughty now. Don't listen to Naughty because he really believes Dallas. Dallas ain't going to make the playoffs this year either. Yeah, there I said it, Naughty. Dallas will not make the playoffs this year. I said it. Let me say it again. Dallas will not make the playoffs. Miami will do better than Dallas in this next year. Oh, Naughty can be mad. I can see my phone ringing later. But those are the kind of things you gotta be. You can't be a blind fan. You can't be a blind fan. You got to be able to make noise when it's time to make noise. But let's get into the picks. Let's see who is who and what is what. You know what? And we're gonna do baseball today. And we're also gonna do. That's baseball today because there's no WNBA. I wanted to do WNBA, but there's no WNBA today. I'll do a pick on the NHL. All right, so the Giants the Giants leading the Rockies 7-5 in the bottom of the 8. Okay, we got the Detroit Tigers at the Baltimore Orioles. All right, Detroit is showing their ace. I like Detroit. Detroit looks good. They look good. I like Detroit. I will take Detroit. On the money line. The New York Yankees going for the sweep against the Kansas City Royals. I can't believe Kansas City let New York come in and sweep them. So you know what? I believe that Kansas City is going to get it together and take this one to save themselves. I'd take the Royals to take on the money line. The St. Louis Cardinals at the Milwaukee Bucks. St. Louis are the favorites, 135. Sonny Gray, who looked really good against the Dodgers the other day, he's 7-1. I think Sonny Gray is going to look good against the Brewers today. Milovisky plays. I think Milovisky probably making his debut today. Missorowski. Missorowski. That's the pronunciation. These funny names. Sonny, I like the Cardinals today. I'm going to take them on the points. Sonny Gray's been looking real good. Pittsburgh Pirates at the Chicago Cubs. Pittsburgh is throwing handy tonight. Taylor is pitching for the Cubs. I like the Cubs tonight. There's a rumor that Pittsburgh has probably one of the, if not the best, the rookie of the year last year, awesome pitching schemes, and they're thinking about trading him. Dodgers, Yankees, and a couple other teams that are front runners for him. It'll be interesting if Pittsburgh makes that move at the trade deadline. It'll be real interesting to see that. Chicago White Sox at the Houston Astros. The White Sox throwing Martin Valdez pitching for the Astros. As much as I hate this, the Astros take the Astros today. That's gonna, yuck. Ugh. I hate to even find out I even pulling for the Astros, but I'm not pulling, but I'm picking the Astros to win tonight. And then we got the Edmonton Oilers, NHL Stanley Cup Finals. Edmonton Oilers at the Florida Panthers. Florida is 145. The over under 6.5 goals. I'll take the over, and I'm going to take the Panthers to win tonight and take a 3-1 lead, and they go back into Edmonton for Game 5. And I think the Panthers are going to shut this down in 5, maybe 6 games. Panthers look good. The goalkeeping has been fantastic. They've been really strong. I like what they're doing. I really do like what they're doing. And I'm going to take a peep at that game tonight since my Dodgers are not playing. And there's no NBA game tonight, so I'm probably going to flip over and watch a little bit of hockey tonight and see how that is. Join me. So thank you so much. Thank you for all the calls. Thank you for all the texts. Thank you for all just listening and just being a part of Talking Heads. Without you, we're not a show. I'm very happy to be here every Thursday. I'm happy to be with Naughty every day. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Naughty and MJ will be in tomorrow to wrap up. I'll join them at 5 o'clock where we talk some sports. It's warm out there. The traffic is a little rough. Take your time, people. Be safe. And I'll see you tomorrow at 5, and I'll be back next Thursday, God willing. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Slam the towel on the hard concrete. Now family, I'll be damn slim, just don't weak. Couldn't beat the smoke weak, that makes it so funky. Now hope to let me choose. Couldn't beat the booze, no, it's the shoe. The shoe? It's gotta be the shoes. Cause girlies, they crack. They stand around and dock, so I say boom, shake the lock. Grab the microphone, then rock. To think of the truth when on the mic, I'll say anything that sounds good.
How often should you change your oil in your car? Every 3,000 miles or 3 months? Definitely by the time the light come on. A car needs oil just like we all need water. Let Muffler World change your oil and oil filters to help you keep your ride on the road. Regular oil changes will save your car's engine. Stop by Muffler World on Mackey Street or Robinson Road to have your car's oil changed in no time flat. Muffler World on Mackey Street is open on Saturdays 8 to noon.
Turn up the heat and the flavor with the new Jalapeno Fire from KFC. Crunch into the iconic taste of KFC's original recipe, extra large filet that's made with KFC's secret recipe of 11 herbs and cooked to perfection. Stacked high with spicy jalapeno peppers, pepper jack cheese, and our cool but kickin' jalapeno sauce, all wrapped up in a soft toasted brioche bun. Go bolder and crank up the Zinger filet. The new Jalapeno Fire is bringing the heat and it's finger-licking good.
Father's Day is just around the corner, and there's no better place to find the perfect gift than Kelly's House & Home. Shower your dad with a gift from Kelly's House & Home's Father's Day sale Friday, June 6th through Saturday, June 14th. Save 20% off selected tool sets, luggage, and fishing, diving, and camping gear, except on net items. Shop Kelly's House & Home on Saturday, June 14th, and you could win a fabulous gift basket for Dad. Visit our Facebook page for more information. Kelly's House & Home's Father's Day sale, June 6th through 14th. Happy Father's Day, all with love from Kelly's House & Home.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty, hosted by Earl the Pearl, on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
We have found OKC's kryptonite. You send this young team on the road, and that defense isn't nearly as dominant, and they make more mistakes, 19 turnovers, and they don't get to the free throw line. The Thunder are an average team, 4-4 in the playoffs, when their star, SGA, has 8 free throw attempts or fewer. They're 500. That's all they are. And remember we told you the Celtics were a better road team because they live on the 3. You don't need the whistle when you're shooting threes. The 3 travels well. Yeah, OKC does not travel well. And they're young rotational players, and we know this. We've told you this. You know this. Young rotational players and bench players, like Indiana's, are always better at home than they are on the road. And they get a little tight. They don't get the home cooking. They commit a few more turnovers. OKC is just okay. Through the last 3 series, they're 2-4 on the road. And because the Thunder didn't play a lot of close games. Remember, they won by an average of 12.9 points a game. The downside of that is they didn't play a lot of close games. And the best clutch team in the NBA is Indiana. They're 9-1 in the playoffs in clutch games. So in close, tight games, the last 6 minutes of the game last night, the Thunder had 1 field goal. They weren't even good at the free throw line. So their youth and their depth is a huge, huge edge during the regular season, right? But they just have huge energy. And the regular season, it's not about preparation. Sometimes it's a back-to-back. You're watching film in the locker room as you put your uniform on. It's about bodies. It is about energy. And OKC is the best in the league at that. But the playoffs, everybody's equally rested. And you face the same team over and over and over. And Rick Carlisle is sitting there thinking, okay, I'm starting to figure this team out a little bit. I'm starting to figure this team out. Late in the fourth quarter, it was Oklahoma City that was gassed. Indiana was getting great looks. They shot 52% for the game. So we have ourselves a series now. I mean, think about the regular season. The only teams that have ever won as many games as the Thunder in the regular season are the early Warriors with Stephen Clay, the best team ever, Michael Jordan's Bulls, and the Wilt, Elgin Baylor, Jerry West Lakers. You got to go way back. Those are the only teams that were ever better. And they are built perfectly for the regular season, and they're a very good playoff team, and they may win the finals, Game 7's in OKC, but today, they are mortal. They have a kryptonite. That youth on the road allows 117 points a game. That's not all-time stuff. Here's SGA after.
They were aggressive. They were higher in the pick and rolls. They really were just, like Coach said, more aggressive, more forceful. We gotta, starts with me, gotta apply that pressure back. Especially if you want to beat a team like that on the road, you gotta be the more forceful team for sure.
All right, let's talk Pacers. And they are, and we've said this, they're a lot of fun to watch. I thought they'd beat Milwaukee. I didn't think they'd beat Cleveland. I didn't know about the Knicks. And I took OKC in 6. I got to tell you, they have so many different types of players. Forget the fact that 7 different Pacers are averaging double figures in the finals. Forget that. But, I mean, they can put crazy length on the floor. Halliburton's the longest point guard in the league. Put him on the floor with Obi Toppin, Siakam, and Miles Turner. They're one of the longest teams. You can go small and quick. TJ McConnell, Naismith. They got small, quick guys. They got long guys. They have ascending players. How about Ben Mathurin? How about that guy? How about that young guy? Got a little Westbrook, right, with a little more refinement. He was a hockey and a football player in Canada. He goes to Arizona, 1 year in college, dominates. Next year, he's going to be one of the best players in the league. You're going to talk about Cooper Flagg, and that kid's going to give you 22 a night. He has wild confidence. And per minute, I think he may be the Pacers' leading scorer per minute. So they've got ascending players, veteran players like Siakam, rim protectors. There are so many levers for Rick Carlisle to pull. They're unselfish. I don't see ego. They have the requisite three-point shooters. Last night they had 11 blocks. They had like double the steals. I was saying this on my podcast after, is that they stole about 8 points last night on like inbounds plays or an offensive rebound or a steal or a block. They were just stealing points throughout the game. And remember, this is a really bad, here's something that's really bad news for Oklahoma City. So Oklahoma City played the fewest clutch time games in the league, right? And all the pressure's on Oklahoma City because they're the favorite, and they're one of the youngest teams in the league. And the Pacers are the best clutch time team probably in the NBA. That's a bad combo. A young team with more pressure that hasn't played a lot of close games against the best close game point guard and team in the league. And if you go look at the by quarter scoring, Oklahoma City's best quarter is the first. The Pacers is the fourth. Which one would you take as a head coach? Now, Game 7's in OKC, but the pressure is all on the Thunder. The best thing they got going for them, they're at home, and they're good at home. But last night, I thought Indiana got better looks. They played more efficiently. They were less sloppy. They were more composed. They were the much better team at the end of the first half and at the end of the game. Remember, the Pacers got to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. We forget this. We paid so much attention to the Celtics. And can Denver get back? And we're always talking Lakers. Kyrie Irving and Luka. This team got to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, but they weren't very good defensively. Now they're much better defensively with the same great pace, and all these ascending players like Halliburton's getting better. You can see this. Naismith, I mean, like, Siakam's always been good, right? But this is a team that's getting better and has more confidence, not only year to year, but series to series. And here's their coach after.
This is the kind of team that we are. You know, we need everybody to be ready. It's not always going to be exactly the same guys that are stepping up with scoring and stuff like that, but you know, this is how we got to do it, and we got to do it as a team, and you know, we got to make it as hard as possible on them.
It really matters that Rick Carlisle's a good coach, because I don't care if it's football, basketball, hockey, or baseball. The better the manager, the better the coach. They're better at pulling the right levers. Eric Spoelstra, Steve Kerr, the more levers you can get them to pull in a series. So, and I also think we're overstating. It's bad on me, but I think I kind of felt like going into the series, you know, like OKC's got a better roster. I'm not so sure of it. I think Indiana plays really good defense. And I think they have so many different types of players. Small, quick, long offensive. Halliburton, Obi Toppin, Miles Turner. This team had 11 blocks last night. So, you know, we're all talking about what the Knicks are going to do and wait till Tatum's back with the Celtics. Who are the Lakers going to land? I don't know. I look at Carlisle, an ascending roster, all sorts of shapes, styles, and sizes and levers to pull. Got ourselves some NBA drama, J-Mac. This was fun. Last night was fun. And I'll tell you what, if you start looking at what Indiana does in the fourth quarter this year, there was a video that was out. I was introduced to it probably about 3 weeks ago, and they showed Halliburton, who you were on like 2.5 years ago, but they showed Halliburton every shot he took, like a minute or less left in the basketball game to lead or tie. That was like 12 of 13. Like, there's always been this feeling among the analytic mavens that there's no such thing as clutch shooters. Like, it all works out with the math. That's not true. But when you watch Indiana and Halliburton play, that guy is so good and so confident in big clutch moments. At some point, we have to acknowledge Halliburton is now one of the NBA's elite closers. It's not always scoring, but from three-point shooting to driving and dishing, he is one of the league's best closers.
He was tremendous. I'm surprised you did 10 minutes and we really did not go after SGA, the MVP, the free throw merchant, who somehow escaped criticism for a fourth quarter when he had one turnover and one basket. Colin, they wore him down. 7 different defenders on SGA. And if you notice, when the Pacers were running offense, they were attacking him the same way the Pacers attacked Brunson. Remember, Brunson was just getting abused? They went at SGA. He had nothing left in the tank. Colin, I don't know how the Thunder changed this. I'm shocked that the line is OKC -6 for Game 4 on the road. They haven't covered a road game this postseason. 0-8 against the spread. How is OKC favored here? I don't get it.
Well, I mean, it's pretty clear. If SGA doesn't get to the line, they are an average playoff team on the road. And overall, they're 4-4 when he's not getting to the line over 8 times. So that's sort of the key. If he does not get the home whistle, and you and I talked about this yesterday on the show. We both liked Indiana, and our takeaway was, and you saw it last night, bench players and young players at home are unbelievable. Indiana's bench last night, it's one of the great bench. The second quarter was insane. They put starters on the bench, brought the bench guys in, and they were dominating OKC. Indiana's bench is not going to look like that in the road, and OKC's bench isn't as dynamic on the road. So this is something with stars, usually you get your points from your star. Halliburton's going to be good usually all the time. Jokic is, Giannis is. But those rotational and bench guys, home is a different environment completely. They get confidence, they get energized.
Can the Pacers win this in 6? Because if they win, they got to win Game 4. I don't think they're taking 2 of 3 from OKC on the road, right?